Adam Friedman, Rivals.com, here with one of the best players in the 2022 class, five-star offensive tackle Zach Rice, here to make the next step in his recruitment, shortening his list down to a top 8. Zach, welcome. Thanks for doing this. Why don't you tell everybody where you're interested in going? These next schools, these top 8 schools. What are you looking at here?
These are my top 8 schools. Without God, I would be nothing. So I took a long time in this journey, and this is what me and my mom have came up to, and my family, to these top 8 schools that I believe I can fit in the best with and be the man of God. So my first of the top 8 schools is University of Miami. My second is Notre Dame. My third, University of North Carolina. My fourth, University of Florida. My fifth, University of Oklahoma. My sixth, LSU. My seventh, Ohio State. And my eighth, University of Virginia.
Okay, great. So officially shortening your list down, Zach Rice, five-star offensive tackle. Is that the order of these schools in your recruitment right now?
No, sir. That has nothing to do with it. I would say just chopping down my list, talking to my family. I just put it in piece by piece. The order has nothing to do with it.
Okay, very good. All right, then let's go through each of these real quick. We'll go alphabetical order here just to keep everybody on the same playing field. University of Florida is up first if we're going alphabetically. What are the things that stand out to you when you think about the Florida Gators?
Once you look at Dan Mullen, I would say it's not about, the flashy stuff of Jordan and stuff like that. It's more about the family and stuff with him. I would say I wouldn't drive 2 hours for no reason, 2 times to UF. With that being said, just going down there, I feel like family with Coach Skolasky. It's family ties down there. Even with my head coach down here in Lynchburg, he knows him. And, he didn't forget about him. They still talk 24/7. All the coaches still hit me up. I really respect it because Torrin Grace from Virginia, it's a lot of ties. I feel like VA to Florida is a big thing for me, and with Gainesville being right there, I have a lot of family in that area.
Sure. Well, Coach Gray spent a lot of time at Virginia Tech over the last, however many years. The next school that made your cut was LSU, if we're going alphabetically. The Tigers, obviously not having the season they had last year, but what are some of the things you really like about LSU going forward?
They made the way to talk to me. I would say that's the biggest thing. Every single time I get on the phone with them, I'm on the phone with the head coach. I spend time with my position coaches. This is, I would say, the first college that I've basically sat down and talked to everyone, gotten to know. I know that I will be spending, 9/10 of my time with the position coach, the strength coach, but, getting to know the whole atmosphere, and, through the phone, you can feel like that energy, and just getting to know, like, man, regular people. No, I mean, everyone's a regular person at the end of the day, but there's some people that are, had different jobs of nothing to do with football, like, just being on the sidelines, chilling, or, being a water person that I got to meet, and, being something like that, every little person at LSU has something to do with their players and helps them out. So, just seeing that and how they spoke really good about LSU, I know it's a special place.
Great, great. And Miami, another team that made your short list here. I know you've had a lot of interest in the Canes really from day one in your recruitment. So what keeps them involved in your recruitment going forward?
Like I said, I grew up a Miami fan. When I was younger, me and my family, we took a trip to the Bahamas. And once I came back, like, they knew how much I love Miami. Once we got back, they drove me down there. That was before I even knew about offers and anything like that. I just got to see all the facilities and stuff like that. I mean, with all the buses and stuff I have, I've opened up my options, but I don't know. It was the first school I ever seen play when I was a little kid. I still remember the Duke Flea Flicker. It's just a special place. And, I would say they're definitely not the same program they were a couple years ago. But, just looking at the 2021, recruits that are going in there, think about it. I'm thinking about how much better I would be in practice, going against Leonard Taylor every day and stuff like that. If you think about it, man, all that work and all that competition and practice, if you think about it, game day would be easy. So.
Cool. Okay. Well, you've certainly put a lot of thought into Miami and what's heading down there even before you in this 21 class. North Carolina, it's very similar. They have a great 2021 recruiting class. I know you were recently over there to watch a game. Tell me about your interest in North Carolina and just why they continue to be a school that is near the top of your recruitment.
First I would like to say Mac Brown is just honestly the godfather. Um, where he's been, it's always been special. I had a Zoom with him, I would say about 3 weeks, and it was, not just the coaches, it was the whole coach's family. I'm telling you, all the wives, everything. We had a 2-hour Zoom, and one of the Coach Terrell's, the O-line coach, his wife stood up the whole time, and just kept going on and on about how passionate she was about UNC, and basically how he had been at UNC before, and that basically he felt like UNC is where he's going to be, and that, before he talked to the coaches and stuff, before he came back, when he got offered the job again, he was like, basically, let me take over. Like, I'm not going to an average school. So with that being said, that was a big step,
Right.
especially how coaches, I noticed, what really means a lot to me is, going down there. We took a visit down there, the UNC versus North Carolina State game. My grandma hasn't been able to watch one of my high school games. And, so with that being said, we go down there and it's the nicest seats I've ever seen. No bleachers. My grandma, with her old age, she cannot, she needs something to lean back on. It's just small stuff like that. We had a FaceTime, and basically they showed me everything. So when I got there, I felt like, I've been playing on that field. It's like Liberty, like I play on that field every home game. I felt like I've been there. It was deja vu. So.
Okay. Well, I know Tony Grimes and his dad have been working on
Right.
you too.
That's a factor. You know, Mr. Glover, Tony Grimes' dad, texted me yesterday, and it was just big because everything he does, it's not for, all to get this rah-rah. Oh, I'm talking to Zach Rice trying to get into UNC. Tony could have went anywhere he wanted to, and I'm steadily seeing why he chose UNC. I would say definitely that's one of the biggest schools where I'm starting, following new recruits. Recruits text me on the daily. Tony, man, a lot of players. I'm building relationships with them, and that's what's up. Right now, a lot of the colleges, like big time colleges, I only have relationships with the coaches, and with COVID going on, I'm basically going off of blind faith. But I would say, some of these schools closer on the eastern side, I have a lot of relationships with the college players, and that helps a lot.
Great, great. Well, I know Notre Dame is a school that you're looking forward to getting a closer look at. You've got a lot of things that are kind of drawing you to Notre Dame. So why don't you go into detail there? Tell us a little bit more about why the Fighting Irish are a school that you look forward to seeing more of, and why they made your top 8.
Right. So it was crazy when I got the offer from him. I was just basically just driving around, and basically he just made me focus so seriously on the conversation, what he said to me and how hard he tries to, and I see how he coaches to, from offering to show up, pick up my film, my huddle film. What other coaches, rarely other coaches, especially in the college level, offer to look up your high school film, and do a Zoom with you and show you what you need to work on. And that's one thing I really appreciated from him.
Mm-hmm.
And with other thing being said, I got blessed, to be in the All-American team for Tom Lemming. And so, he's basically just talking to my coach and stuff. They go way back. And next thing you know, he starts talking about Notre Dame and how he looked out for me and how he called Coach Quinn to see, like, what offensive lineman he thought, were a good fit for his list. And, he said me first. So I really appreciate that, how like love and loyalty is definitely like I am for me. I am loyalty. So
Mhm.
that
Okay.
was a big,
Did you
and
get a chance to watch their big win over Clemson and everything?
yes, sir. I really felt like I already knew they were going to win, but I feel like it solidifies. It's a big difference, you see Virginia Tech versus LU. You already basically, a lot of people thought who's going to win that, but with everybody already knows Notre Dame's a big dog. So I mean, they're only going to. I felt like in the last couple of years they didn't have that, that fight in them to win those 2-point games and then go into overtime and finish it. But this year I'm suddenly seeing how they push over the top and are killing big dogs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, Oklahoma's another school that has been right up there near the top of the college football rankings and everything, just like Notre Dame's been trying to get there as well. What is it with the Sooners that keeps them in the race for your commitment?
um I've had a lot of calls with Coach Bill. One thing that I really saw that was serious was Coach Bill, he got to know what I wanted to study as a chiropractor and athletic director. And he set that up with me, with COVID going on. He set up basically a Zoom call where I got to see the facilities, and not just only like all the facilities, but what I wanted to study. And he personally got basically the teachers and the professors to talk about that. And, like, how they have certain people, working with grades and stuff like that to be in there. And that was a special thing for me. With that being said, I talked to Suda and Ellington a lot. In my opinion, the best trainer in the nation. And like I just got off the phone with him before I called you. And what the students have been doing is just, man, Orlando Brown, everyone. So they're definitely coming up with big time players. And Coach Bill's been building up for a whole bunch of years, and I know that's a spot where I can definitely develop.
Okay, very good. Ohio State, a school that I know you've had an interest in a long time. You mentioned to me a while back that that was an offer that just really floored you. So it's not surprising to see them in your top eight. But what are some of the things that you find most interesting about that program?
First off, I would say just getting the offer. I got the offer, and then my mom came in the room, and Coach Stud told my mom that I got the offer, and her knees buckled. So I already knew that that was a special offer. But honestly, just building a relationship with Coach Cook and Coach Stud, it's been a good time. I would honestly say I can be myself around them. And with that being said, I know all of these other recruits in my class that are so confident. And, I honestly believe that they will be the best recruiting class in 22. Honestly, you can move them up to 21 and they would beat out a lot. So, especially I see a lot of potential coming. Um, I see them flipping a lot of guys. I would just say it's gonna be a special place. I don't really believe in blind faith, but I feel like I could go in blind faith with them, like right now. But it's gonna be really tough. Planning. It's gonna be really tough and fun to see us plan a trip together and actually get down there together. So
Mhm.
that's planning.
Yeah, well, they're doing a great job in 2022 already. I think they have the number one recruiting class in the nation so far. But the last school that's in your top eight, the only in-state school that's in your top eight, the University of Virginia, you've got a lot of connections to that school. Explain to us why the Cavaliers have made this final or this cut right here to make your top eight.
First of all, my grandfather went to University of Virginia, and that was a big thing for me. My family growing up right outside of Charlottesville and Fluvanna County, right outside. I have a lot of family ties down there. Even the head security guard at University of Virginia, I still talk to him. His name's Blackie Ballou. It's just family ties all over the place. I would say getting to know Coach Mendenhall and Coach 2J like it's no other. I've told Coach 2J basically my whole life story. You know, I feel like that's one of the coaches I can't tell no. And you need one of those coaches. I can tell basically I'm cutting down my schools to 8. I'm blessed to have 32 offers, but I can tell a lot of schools no. But I can't tell, University of Virginia no. I have a lot of family ties, and I believe there that, I could start. I don't want to start, a kingdom first. I want to start a unity, something there. They're only missing. They're not missing anything, but they're missing a little something to start their program. If you look at all the greats back in the day, offensive linemen, I just got off the phone with Coach Suda and Ellington. It doesn't matter where you go. I've told a lot of people, that, UVA's in my top schools, and they laughed at me. And honestly, that would give me motivation, because they're one step away from being great. And I could see them definitely, competing against Ohio State team or something like that, because this is something I've noticed that is very serious. They're beating 5-star players with 2 stars. Really, 2 stars. I think they might have 4 stars on the team. So with that being said, I know if they have 5 stars that work hard and actually fit the tradition and the legacy that they have, and I have 44 blood, running through my veins where I'm from, where it's Charlotte. So, if they have 5-star athletes and they're beating people with 2-star athletes, I know that they're definitely developing, and it's a hard issue at that point. It's definitely hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been over there a number of times, and I know that you have those great connections there. But what are we going to look forward to going down the road in your recruitment? What's the next steps for you? Are you going to be able to take some visits? Are you going to do some drive-through visits before the dead period is over? What's the plan for you?
Honestly, I would say it's big time officials. I would say I would like to maybe take one unofficial to some schools I haven't got out to, like LSU, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Miami especially. A lot of these schools I've been to personally. Now, take a visit to Notre Dame. But after that, I want to take my officials and actually get serious about it, because I've taken, visits to UNC and all that stuff. So now I want to see actually all that stuff, all that car salesman talk, they were talking about, that a lot of colleges talk about. Was it true, And, so me and my family are going to take that next step.
Well, we're not going to call any college coaches car salesmen or anything like that, but we understand what you mean here. You want to, make sure that the proof is in the pudding there, right?
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay, so a commitment isn't coming soon. You still have a big process ahead of you, is what I'm hearing, right?
No, sir. I could commit anytime.
Oh, you
So.
could. Okay, so you could spring it on us anytime, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that. Zach Rice, 5-star in the 2022 class. Thanks so much for your time. We're looking forward to seeing how the rest of your recruitment plays out.
Thank you.